Now, Washington Mornings on the Mall. 105.9 FM. And AM 630. WMAL.
Happy Monday morning to you, Brian Neiman. Joe DeGenova in for Brian Wilson, who's out this week, traveling to China with his daughter. Still to come on the show 1 hour from now, Tucker Carlson from the Daily Caller will join us. And Hank Haney, Tiger Woods' golf swing coach, former, who's written a book about Tiger, will join us. We'll get into that book and also the Masters and the fantastic finish yesterday. Big win for Bubba Watson. All to come here with Brian and Brian. Dan Bongino is on the line, former Secret Service agent, and the Republican candidates to go against Ben Cardin this November in a battle for U.S. Senate. Good morning, Dan, and congratulations.
Hey, Brian, Joe, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I know it was a tough race, but you pulled through in the end. All the hard work, I guess, paid off.
Yeah, grassroots matters. We had recruited a volunteer army out there. About 1,100 of our loyal followers were out there on game day and really made it happen. Yeah, we were outspent pretty significantly that last 2 weeks, but we pulled it through, and I really think it was the leather on the ground that really mattered in the end.
All right.
We're happy.
There is a battle going on right now in the Republican Party. I think it's a fight for control or to lead in a certain direction, one way or the other. A lot of people don't think that Mitt Romney is conservative enough. He's a moderate or rhino, whatever you want to call him. A couple of questions out of that. Number one, how would you describe yourself? Moderate, conservative, Tea Party-esque? I
would describe myself as kind of a soccer dad Republican. Is that did I just make that up?
Yeah, I think you did, but
that was extemporaneous too. I didn't expect it was a soccer dad Republican. I'm just a warm-blooded Republican who just cares about the economy, healthcare, and education. You know, I don't know where on the spectrum that exactly places me, but I promise you, I care. I have feelings.
But is this a healthy debate that's going on right now, or the Republicans kind of eating themselves up?
Well, sure, because there are ideas that work and there are ideas that don't, and how you label them really is almost irrelevant to me. We know higher taxes at some point just don't work, right? I mean, taking more money out of people's pockets, giving them to a bureaucrat to redistribute it to their cronies, their Salinger friends, really is not an effective way to manage an economy. We know that. So whether paying less taxes is a Tea Party idea or a moderate idea, really, to me, I'm trying to avoid the label. It's a very, very fair question, though. But also, again, on the health care, you know, we understand in the health care debate that you controlling your health care decisions and less government involvement and more personal patient choice matters. But yeah, there's a lot of change-minded Republicans. I mean, I'm sure Paul Ryan, when he put out his budget, there were some people who said, hey, let's stay away from this until after the election. Now we have to put it down on paper. But I think it actually helped. I think it was a great idea. At least we stand for something. What does the Dems stand for?
Dan, this is Joe DeGenova. Congratulations, number one. Number two, Ben Cardin is basically viewed by many people as a do-nothing senator, kind of asleep at the wheel. He shows up once in a while for a hearing. You've got a pretty tough road to go, though, given the Democratic registration in the state of Maryland. Are you going to take on the fact that he's accomplished little or nothing during his term and is just sort of a legatee? Or what's going to be your plan for taking him on?
Yeah, absolutely. No one knows who he is, Joe. You know, I go to the New Carrollton Metro stop, and I'll sit there and just wave to folks, and I'm Dan Bongino running for U.S. Senate, and that no one knows who the man is. I'll get into conversations with Democrats, independents, liberals, conservatives. No one knows who he is. He shows up every 6 years. He stops at a few campaign stops. We had a little hashtag going on Twitter for a while. Where is Ben Cardin? Because we were at the Orioles home opener. He had a little sign up, which was nice, little polybag sign in the middle of a median. You know, Ben Cardin. I guess that's the best he can do. But I've never seen the guy. We used to be at Ravens games. It'd be 10 degrees, waving to folks. Nowhere to be found. I think he feels kind of like Martha Coakley up in Massachusetts in the Brown race, that there's some kind of entitlement to this position, that it's actually his seat, that he doesn't have to run again. No one knows who the man is.
Well, let me just give you a little bit of advice, having run a campaign in Maryland for Mac Mathias. Let me just tell you this. Cardin is beatable. This guy is so clueless and so unknown, and there's a good reason for it. He has done absolutely nothing, whether it was as a congressman or as a senator. The way to beat him is to do what is being done now. You must ridicule him because he doesn't know how to fight back. He has no cojones. The guy's lazy. You want to beat him, you got to go after him. You got to do what the president is doing to Paul Ryan. delegitimize, ridicule, stigmatize. This should not be a pretty campaign. You got to have ideas, but believe me, the only way you beat this guy is because the Garagiola defeat tells you something about what's going on in the Democratic Party. They're tired of tax and spend. They really are. Even the Democrats are. This guy can be beaten.
I agree with you. And every state has their breaking point. You know, California had Prop 18. Massachusetts had Brown, Hawaii had Linda Lingle. We're at that point now with OMalley, and it's just endless stream of new taxes. And the Armageddon in taxes coming soon from President Obama in, 271 days, $500 billion in new taxes. But I agree with you, and other people are starting to take note. Todd Eberle wrote in the Washington Post, storm clouds on the horizon for Cardin, and he made that exact analogy you just spoke about, too, with Delaney. How people are just fed up in Maryland with the entire incumbency disease. Cardin got 42,000 less votes than President Obama did in the primary, and President Obama did an uncompetitive primary. Everybody agrees, right? Senator Cardin got 42,000 fewer votes.
There are a lot of conservative Democrats out there ready to vote for a reasonable Republican. But you gotta ridicule this guy. Believe me, he's a nothing burger. You can beat him.
Nothing? Did I take that? Nothing burger?
That's what he is. He's a nothing burger because he's done nothing.
This is all free advice, Dan, from Joe. That you don't have to claim it on any kind of campaign finance.
By the way, it's just between you and me. Nobody's listening.
I'm saying it out loud to my wife's taking notes next to me. So nothing burger. We'll footnote it. I promise.
But he has 46 years of service in some kind of some form or another.
He's a permanent government employee. He's never done anything in his life. He's never met a payroll. But Cardin is the classic, lazy, do-nothing Democratic politician in Maryland who believes in one thing: his own job paid for by your taxes.
Right, and he lectures you. This is what I find ironic. He lectures everyone about inequality and the evil rich and the millionaires and billionaires, which, by the way, 3/4 are small business owners. As businesses exit Maryland because of that very, process of demonization of millionaires. But he's one himself. I don't fault the guy his prosperity. I don't. Believe me, I applaud it.
He's a walking annuity.
Yeah, he is, exactly. And don't lecture us about the success of millionaires and billionaires while you're sitting there collecting this huge paycheck. It's absurd. I'm a middle-class guy. I live in Serena Park. Yeah, I left my job to do this. I'm not swimming in cash. My daughter needs braces. I eat tuna fish for lunch, not foie gras.
Are you going to get some help? Are you going to get some substantial help from the Republican Senatorial Committee?
They've been very good to us. We've had a lot of meetings with them. When it comes down to money, I'm not sure. I think we've done relatively well raising money on our own. We've excited a lot of people here. We have 1,300 donors. So I'm not sure. I can't answer that. But we have been meeting with them, and they have been very helpful strategy-wise.
Well, they should know from their own polling in Maryland that Cardin is beatable. He is eminently beatable.
Well, you obviously going to have a lot of money, and you're going to have to get out there as much as you possibly can. And it would also be helpful to perhaps have a debate, whether it's aired on Baltimore television or D.C. television. Is probably not going to happen. Maybe public television will do it in Maryland. Have you been in contact with the Cardin campaign since your victory last week? And do you think you will actually get a chance to have a debate?
We will. He already agreed to one on another radio station in Baltimore.
Okay.
So we both appeared on the same day. He agreed to do it, and I have to tell you, I can't wait. This guy has no ideas, and I can see it already, that he's going to try to paint me, it's nonsensically, I might add, as inexperienced. And I say, politically wise, thank God. What is political experience has this guy gotten you? Absolutely nothing. No one knows who he is. So I'm looking forward to it. We have great ideas on capital gains taxes, corporate taxes. The economy's my strong point.
Okay, well, that'll be fine to have it in Baltimore. We'll ask, will you do a debate here on WMAL with Ben Cardin where you can reach into the D.C. suburbs in Maryland, Montgomery County, and Prince George's County, and southern Maryland as well?
I was actually going there right now. I was hoping you would say that, Brian. Absolutely. I am agreeing to it publicly on the air right now. I relish the moment.
Okay, well, we will put it out to the Cardin campaign to see if they'll also at least think about having that one. Perhaps maybe they'll have some time to work it out, but we'll put it out to the Cardin campaign. Dan, it was good to have you on. Thanks very much.